Hi folks, Unitic here, Sunday, May the 17th, and I am in Canaan Valley Wildlife Refuge here in West Virginia, the Highlands. I just finished hiking out of Dolly, Sods wilderness area. Incredible place. I've backpacked there a couple times before and enjoyed getting a hike on a real trail for the first time this whole trip, a real foot trail. It was a little reminder that road walking does not replace conditioning for trail walking, because rocks and roots and ups and downs with your feet going all different angles is a different kind of exercise than walking on the road. So it was great though, really enjoyed it. Got a little wet yesterday for the first time on the trail, but not too bad. I tell you, West Virginia has not been easy so far. Obviously the ups and downs of the West Virginia mountains are quite a change from the flat of Maryland and Delaware, but the biggest challenge for me in the first 3 days in West Virginia was I got kind of spoiled with knowing up to that point I'd been able to hit a little town or a trailside bistro every couple of days or so and get some more supplies and eat something. And there was literally nothing, not a gas station, not a store, for about 45 miles in West Virginia. And then insult to injury, I was scraping by with just a few morsels left in my food bag, out of fuel for the stove. And there was supposed to be a store right at this road intersection yesterday before I headed up into Dolly Sods, which I knew had no stores. And turns out it went out of business 2 years ago. So luckily I ran into this young man, Matthew, who was standing in his front yard right at that intersection. Matthew was kind enough to point out the spring spigot right there in his front yard that I could get water from, because water was really hard to come by too in that whole stretch, you know, unless you ask somebody in their front yard. And while I ran into a lot of trail angels that first 24 hours that I've mentioned before in some other videos, I did a video a couple of days ago about them. The next couple of days were kind of lean. Since my interaction with the guy with the shotgun, I was a little more wary, and honestly people give you kind of a strange look when they see you walking down a road in rural West Virginia. Not surprising, no fault of theirs. But water was hard to come by, so Matthew filled me up, and then he told me about another store, but according to him it was only a mile away, but he had never walked it, and I'm a little always dubious about mileage estimates from somebody who hasn't walked it, who's trying to do it from a bike or car. His was from a bike, but he was so kind, hopped on his bike and decided to ride with me to the store, make sure I didn't get lost. Thank you, Matthew. Yeah, it was a little more than 2 miles to get there, and in West Virginia that means you're gonna get 2 miles of hills. Unfortunately, the downhill was mostly on the way there when my pack was light. The uphill came after my pack was full of supplies again. But I was back on the trail a few hours later, hiking this long, about a 7-mile uphill to get to the Dolly Sods Highlands, which is, you know, really cool area. It's kind of a Canadian ecosystem, like probably would remind people of like the Scottish Highlands, that kind of thing. Windswept, microorganisms with plants and ferns and the likes, and really small windswept trees, and kind of an artificial tree line. Can be a pretty rugged environment any month of the year. And I'm hiking up the road to get to the Highlands. I'm worn out. The blisters on my heels are hitting me. I'm in sunshine on that road, peak of the midday, and kind of feeling sorry for myself. And I kept thinking, man, I wish I could manifest a trail angel who who would offer me a ride, make up for those 4+ extra miles I had to walk to that store, because it was going to wind up being about a 21-mile day with that extra walk, and I was not feeling great yesterday. I didn't wake up feeling great, kind of sluggish. And you know, I made the 4 miles of road walking and then was getting close to the gravel that starts up to the summit, and a guy pulls up beside me to ask me directions. He's got a backpack in his car and a bike. And Adam, if you see this video, thank you. You were my trail angel manifested. Trail magic continues to defy logic, which a lot of the magical things in this world don't line up logically and rationally, but they're there nonetheless. And Adam was asking me directions to Dolly Sods. I told him what I could, and he offered me a ride on the spot. I took it without hesitation. He got me up to the pinnacle where his trailhead started and dropped me off, and I had about another 2.5 miles to get to the Red Creek campsite. Made it there, started raining, and got pretty soaked. My first time hiking in the rain so far. I've been really lucky this trip. Got to the campsite. Every campsite's full. Saturday. Bad timing on my part, but every campsite's full. There aren't a lot of tree options up there, because wherever there are trees big enough to hold a hammock, there's usually tons of undergrowth and scrub. And so I just decided to put my head down and keep hiking. And I found a little nature trail about half hour later, not too far from Red Creek, because I needed to pick up my next trail from there that led me through Dolly Sods. Long story short, I found a stealth camp, more trail magic. And stealth just meaning a camp where you quietly tuck yourself away, sleep overnight, get up and go, which is what I had to do on 3 nights leading up to there in West Virginia, because this, you know, roads are all on private land and you got to camp where you can, and I just kind of snuck in and snuck out. So rain stopped right before I pitched camp, and it's been relatively dry since. Had a great hike this morning, and looking forward to getting to Canaan Valley State Park for a first day off I've had, a real day off in probably more than 10 days. The last 7 days, by the time I get to the state park, I will have covered 120 miles, which I'm happy about, getting my average up. I really need to get it up higher eventually to be able to complete this entire cross-country sojourn, and hopefully I'll get it to the point where I can do 120 miles in 6 days, and then be able to try and make sure I take a full rest day every week, instead of doing what I did the last 10, which was basically hike 10 consecutive days. I took a half day off and just hiked 9 miles when I was in Hancock, Maryland. But heel blisters are doing better. I think I'm finally turning the corner with that. I'm walking relatively pain-free today, so I'm happy about that, and can't complain a bit about what Mother Nature has or has not thrown my way so far. So, and I'm really enjoying being out here in nature. As you can see, this is a gorgeous place. It's the peak of spring. Couldn't be greener. It's a tremendously healing place to be. You know, don't underestimate the power of Mother Nature. Figure out a way to get out and spend some time in it as regularly as you can. It is just a magical place, you know. It's in our DNA. We are made of all the same substances that Mother Earth is made of. Literally, our bodies are formed from the substances of Mother Earth, as well as a good dose of light. And it's a magical and healing place to spend time. And I really feel like my body is healing, even though I'm stressing it pretty good. It's continuing to heal out here, and I'm going to keep affirming that all across this trail. So I want to thank you guys for watching. I want to encourage you, if you see one of these videos, please subscribe to our website. A huge encouragement to me to keep putting one foot in front of the other is to see our subscriber list growing and just see people that might take an interest in any fashion from the varied topics that we're talking about on the website and that we're sharing on these videos and in my trail journal. So www.trek4truth.org, trekfortruth.org. Over on the right hand side of the homepage, you can just enter your email address and subscribe, and you know, you might get an email once or twice a week when we upload a new video or a new article. There's some really interesting and empowering information on that website, the kind of information you won't get through mainstream schooling and mainstream media, but is readily accessible through a lot of great alternative news and media sites on the internet, many of which are shared on our page called the Awareness Alliance. So I'd be thrilled if you'd subscribe. You can also like us on Facebook, Trek for Truth, and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is under Trek for Truth, and my name, Logan McCulloch, MCCULLOCH, and we have a special channel just for Trek for Truth, Trek for Truth. So hopefully you'll keep following along, share this with friends and family, and I'll keep tuning you into the adventures from the trail. For today, looking forward to a shower, laundry, clean sheets, and a night of day of no hiking. This is Unitic out.